Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another custom lightsaber review. This time we're going to be taking a look at one of my personal favorite lightsabers and also based on one of my favorite video games, and that is Star Wars The Force Unleashed. If you've never played the video game before or even heard of it, I would highly encourage you to check it out. Heck, you could even find all the cinematic cutscenes if you don't want to get those consoles, but worth checking out nonetheless. So before we get straight into it, I do need to remove this jacket because it is quite warm in here. And yes, I'm doing this just to, for the most part, showcase this brand new vest that was sent my way courtesy of Film Jackets, who are also the ones behind that jacket that I was just wearing. This video is not a sponsor, just want to kind of showcase and tease for another upcoming video. But anyways, it was such a great time meeting a lot of you guys over the weekend when I was at Disneyland for both Saturday and Sunday. And a lot of you guys got the chance to also check out the Starkiller saber in person before this video goes live. And I do apologize for the delay because I noticed that when I was watching back the footage that I recorded, there was a couple settings that was a mishap and I was just too tired to re-record, and plus it gave me the opportunity to test this out over the weekend before I was able to give you guys my official final thoughts on it. And I am pleased with everything that I went with it, and a lot of you guys were also really enjoying seeing this as well. So what we have here again is that we have Starkiller's lightsaber based on Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1. When it comes to the actual hilt itself, there are two main companies to go with. When it comes to the empty hilt, there is the Corband hilt, which is what I have here. You'll probably notice, if I give you guys a little bit of a close-up here, that on this hilt, you'll notice on this bottom portion, it doesn't have that copper coloring as you've seen in the video game. Well, if that is something that you really want to get, there is a second option, which is by 7 chambers, where you do have those few extra parts. So if you really want that copper coloration down here, again, you have the parts supplied, or if you prefer the chrome version, you have that option as well. But again, when it comes to any of those hilt options, you really can't go wrong with them. And I know Saberforge has one too, but it doesn't look anything like this. It's completely different looking. But if you're looking for a little bit more accuracy, the Corband version or the 7 chambers hilt is going to be the main go-to options nonetheless. So let me go ahead and give you guys pretty much a close-up of the hilt here. One of the additions that I got with this is that I got the Crystal Chamber add-on, which I'll have the links to all this in the description down below. And I also got a 3D printed chassis for the bottom, which supports the much larger battery. Now you notice that there's no cover tech or D-ring system at the moment. That's because for whatever reason, Corband didn't have a cover tech option. And I'm not really sure how to add it, and I really don't want to mess up the hilt in general. So let me go ahead and remove the bottom portion. So what's nice about having that 3D printed chassis is that you could pretty much unscrew the bottom here to get access to your SD card. And what I'm running on this one is the CFX, which stands for Crystal Focus 10, which is based off me getting the custom sabers and still new to it. I'm still learning as I go along. I learned that I really love CFX, and for someone like me who doesn't know how to do all that programming and stuff like that, it was much user-friendly, easier to learn, and it's something that I've been enjoying ever since that I got hooked into it. But here is the install on the bottom here. Now the installation was done courtesy of Kyber Order. He had an original name before, but he ended up changing it. But he's the one that did my original hilt, and he's also the one that did this one. He said that this one was a bit challenging to do, but he had fun doing it nonetheless because it's something that he now wants to get. And also too, he actually went ahead and updated the firmware for CFX, which I hate it when they do the firmware update. I mean, it's nice because they provide some nice new changes and add-ons, but they also move around a lot of different folders. So it's like it gets to the point where once I learn where everything is, they move it, so I have to learn it all over again. So let's go ahead and pretty much fire this up really quick. So having that exposed crystal chamber definitely adds a lot to the character of this lightsaber. So what I want to go ahead and do is that I'm just going to kind of quickly share with you guys what fonts are on here and then I'll demonstrate, because right now every single font that I have on here has smooth swing, so which means that anytime I move the saber around, it's going to go with the motion, which is something that I personally like. And I know Profi also has the smooth swing option too, so that's an alternate option from CFX. So let's go ahead and go into the menus, which, by the way, for the activation on this one, there are these two little black buttons on that very back, just right below where the crystal eye here is. These are your activation buttons. So that's activation, that's the auxiliary button. So when we hold down the bottom here, you'll go into the selection, like so.
Sound bank selection.
Nightfall.
So I do have a couple Starkiller fonts on here. Let you guys listen.
Rise, my apprentice.
And then we can select that one.
At last, the dark side is your ally.
And then we're going to go ahead and go to another one, because the other one also has the same sounding profile in terms of the saber ignition and smooth swing. I noticed that this one takes a few extra seconds
Sound bank selection.
before it goes in the night.
Rise. True power can only come from the dark side.
And then we go ahead and select.
Yes, my master.
Love it. So now let's go ahead and activate once again. Again, smooth swing. And another cool thing with the CFX and the exposed crystal chamber here is that the crystal will match out with anything it's doing. So whatever the color crystal is, it will be the color of the blade. And if you have any effects going on, and then of course that one, this one here, is when it's doing that blaster bolt effect, which is not going to affect the crystal, but again, when the saber's clashing, that's just pretty neat. I also did buy an additional sound font, which is by Kyberphonic. So let me go ahead and go through that, because what I did, I was trying to figure out what kind of order I wanted. So the beginning portion of the fonts that I have here is more based on the dark side users, while the fonts after that, which I've only added a few, are based for those on the light side. So let's go ahead and get to the other one.
Sound bank selection.
True power, Lord Vader.
This is the Lord Vader from Rogue One.
Kill them all.
Kylo Ren.
General Krell, you're being relieved of duty.
So this one's General Krell from the Umbrella arc. I can't remember the name. Sorry, I'm still exhausted. But you know the arc with General Krell, where he was pretty much trying to kill off as many clones as he can because he wanted to join Dooku. It's one of my favorite arcs from the Clone Wars. So we're going to go ahead and select this one.
You're committing mutiny, Captain.
And then this one I've enabled with a pre-on option.
It's treason, then.
This one lights up. This one has the green color font on there, or the green coloration. And then we go ahead and turn this off.
You should have listened to the ARC Trooper from the beginning, Captain.
As much as I hate that guy, like I said, it was a great episode indeed. Sharing some more fonts that's on here.
Sound bank selection.
General Krell.
Darth Sidious, obviously.
I am Pre Vizsla. We are the Death Watch. Descendants of the true warrior faith all Mandalorians once knew.
So this one's my Darksaber font.
Savage.
Savage.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Pretty obvious who that one is.
Second sister.
I am Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight.
He's been working on that thing for weeks. What kind of lightsaber could he possibly build with the junk we have laying around?
I really like this one. This is also by Kyberphonic, which is the Ezra font. So we're going to go ahead and select this one.
Maybe I won't go easy on you this time.
Because he captured the sound perfectly. Once more. And going through the rest.
Sound bank selection.
He's been working for
Fulcrum, you're afraid.
Ray.
A very good friend of mine told me to go out, find my place in the galaxy.
So Jedi Fallen Order.
Red.
That's also from Fallen Order. And that one. Now, a lot of you guys might be kind of asking, with the exposed crystal chamber right here, is it difficult to hold and wield with a blade? Not really, but it really depends on the blade length. Because for me, when I'm holding it like so. So I'm pretty much gripping it right in the middle portion, so I have something kind of in between. Now the blade that I have here at the moment is a blade for NeoPixel, and this is a 36-inch blade. And I noticed that with this saber and this blade, it's a little bit awkward to feel because the length of the blade. I feel like if I have a little bit of a shorter blade, let's say maybe a 30-inch blade or 31, somewhere around that point, then I think it would be perfect for a hilt like this. Because walking around and carrying this with this long blade definitely put a little bit of strain on my wrist, that's for sure. And plus with the crowds at Disney, it's like I'm trying to avoid hitting anyone with having a really long blade. So I'm going to go ahead and I just need to take care of something really quick, but we'll be right back as I will insert the blade, try to get some night shots to kind of share with you guys how this looks. So give me 1 second and we'll continue. Alright, so for this portion of the video, I'm going to demonstrate the saber at night with the NeoPixel. I'm going to, what I'm going to go ahead and do is that I'm going to switch between a few different colors. Then we'll go into the blade profile. I don't know how well the camera will pick up the blade profiles with all the different effects to it, but we'll see what happens anyways. Because again, with this being a new camera and a new lens, which is meant for low light conditions like this, we'll see how it plays out. So let's go ahead and fire this up, and I'm just going to swing it around. Again, switch for a few different colors, and then we'll finish off once we go back into the room to give you guys my final thoughts. And because, obviously you guys want to see how it is when I'm swinging this thing around. So let's go ahead and start.
Spectrum. Spectrum.
I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to change to a different profile, something of a different sounding font.
Sound bank selection. Audio player. SD card system exit menu.
Nightfall. Rise, my apprentice. At last, the dark side is your ally.
Spectrum. Spectrum.
I'm just kidding, I'm not going to. Alright, so that concludes the low light conditions of this camera and just messing around with the saber. So let's go ahead and move on back to the room where there's much more proper lighting to give you guys my final conclusion. Man, it feels good to be back in the room because it was freezing out there. But as you've seen, I was just swinging the saber, and towards the end there, I got much quicker, and I was being a lot more harsh with it as far as my swings go. And this definitely held up perfectly fine with no issues. And which, by the way, I took like 5 takes, so in total, I was swinging this for a solid 15 minutes. And I don't see any issues with it. There's no chipping, no kind of damage. As far as how the blade held up, it held up perfectly fine. As I stated, and I still stand by my point, that it definitely still feels odd with a 36-inch blade. If I had like a 30-inch blade, which hopefully I'll add one soon, then I feel like that would be the perfect combination for this. But you could still go by with a 36-inch blade if you're more comfortable with that. Again, I was swinging it perfectly fine, and I didn't feel like there's any issues, especially in the blade portion. But I'm very, very impressed, and I'm also happy with the installation done by the Kyber order, because, you know, if it was done by a cheap installer, then there would have been some kind of issues somewhere down the road. But everything held up. There was no issues with the chassis upon checking it, no issues with the crystal chamber. Everything was held in place perfectly fine, which I couldn't be more happier. So in the end, what do I think about this lightsaber? I think it's a great addition. You know, if you're a big fan of Star Wars The Force Unleashed and you want to add something like this into your collection, I think it's worth it. I do want to let you guys know that, as I stated, I ordered this as an empty hilt, got some of the side pieces like the crystal chamber and the chassis through Shapeway, which again, the links are down below, and I sent it to an installer. But if you are, you know, if you don't really want to send it out to someone, Corbanth does have an option on their website where they do offer an install version. I'm not exactly sure in terms of what they use for the heart of it. I don't know if they use CFX or if they use something different. And I do know that they don't have that crystal chamber add-on. You could probably add it down the road for sure. And I'm not sure exactly what chassis they would utilize either, so that's information I currently do not know. But they do offer an installed one. I think on their website is around $700. I think mine here in total was a little bit over $700, so it's pretty close to the same price range. But yeah, like I said, I really like this hilt. Let me know what you guys think. And as I said, just to demonstrate really quick, once again, if you were not able to hear me outside, is that when we turn this on, like so here, if we press the second switch and twist,
Spectrum.
you go into the spectrum mode, which will easily change the color of the crystal and of course the blade. And then you simply, to lock it in place, you press that secondary button and the crystal will stay at that color. Now if you go into the spectrum mode, pick a color, and you hold down the second button, you'll go into the blade profile, which will allow you to change how the blade looks. Again, I don't know exactly how it's going to look once I edit this footage, because, you know, typically when you're filming something, especially a bright light like this, cameras act quite differently compared to others, but hopefully you guys were able to see some of the differences. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this in the end. If you're someone that's specifically looking into custom sabers, I think this is worth it, but it's completely up to you. You know, how much money do you want to spend, and are you comfortable with the options that you're getting? But like I said, the Corbanth hilt with CFX, NeoPixel, just everything about this, it's just awesome in the end, or to the point, I'm giving this a solid 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I guess before we go off, I wanted to kind of showcase something really quick, because if you guys recall, where exactly did I put it? Oh, here it is. I just kind of planned this as a last second thing. If you guys recall my original saber here, I'm actually going to have this gutted, and the electronics out of this are going to be put into a new hilt of mine. I shared it on the community page, and a lot of you guys who were familiar with Star Wars The Old Republic video game pretty much knew exactly what the saber was, so let's go ahead and grab it now. And that is this lightsaber right here. Let me give you guys a bit of a closer look. Figured kind of a nice way to send off the video. But the guts of my original saber are going to go right into here. And I don't know yet if I'm going to be doing like a crystal reveal chamber. I mean, there's an option for it. But I haven't found any parts and stuff for it online. But let me know what you guys think of this one in the comment section down below. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. And you enjoy the rest of your day.